Hi everybody, ilApogeo here. Um, I'm gonna upload Star Wars Force Arena gameplay and commentary. I've noticed there's a lot of questions floating around there on how to play different heroes and different strategies, and I just thought that I would like to share how I play the game and maybe teach my perspective. I am a Kyber player, currently rated 6,897. My my turrets and shield generator are level 10, and my cards, I use a level 1 Okay, so this first game I didn't catch who I was playing against, but it's a Cassian player, as you can see. I've started off with stormtroopers, stun grenade, and probe droid, so that's a pretty defensive start. And with my deck, it'll tend to be defensive. My deck is Agent Kallus, stormtroopers, um, uh, devorian bladesmen, sandtroopers, probe droid, ATST, and rocket trooper. Um, So I dropped the stormtroopers up top so that I wouldn't be floating too much energy, and then I dropped a sandtrooper bot to start up my slow push. I got a probe droid that knocked out most of his push top. I drop a stun on his Gagarin, and I use my ability to finish it off, and also stun the rest of his abilities. I die in the process, but my ATSC gets a lot of chunk on his turret in the meantime. And also, he's not in any position to really set off a push because he's sitting with not very much elixir because he tried to defend the ATSD push ineffectively. I dropped stormtroopers and I misplaced the devorian there. They kind of split their directions, which isn't ideal. I die here, and that's not good. That was unintentional rushing in. My probe droid stalls for some time though, so that's why he wasn't able to get a good push. Even though it didn't kill anything, just the fact that it was there tanking hits was able to, enough time for me to come back from dying. I put a rocket trooper down. It only needs to get 2 shots off to get the turret. I know Cassian can't one-shot it, so that's a guaranteed turret right there. I go back for some health. So at this point, I'm in pretty good position. I've got 1 turret down. He drops a tank up top. I respond to his Yeti tank with a stun grenade and my ability again, which pretty much kills him and everything there is. He has a grenadier that does pretty good work. I go in here and tank the turret for my troops. I'm going to die, but I like to do this when I know that he's not in any good position to push off of my death. That way I'm able to preserve the health of my troops and they'll do damage on the turret. And I'll do damage on the turret. And then when I die, I get sent back to base anyways. Um, you do get longer respawn timers as you die, but again, if you know that they're not able to set push up because of either they're dead or they've spent too much of their energy, um, well then that's good. I waste a stun grenade there trying to catch Cassian, but I do force him towards my turret, so he's kind of sandwiched between me and the turret, and he dies. I die here against this Gagarin, but that's okay. My ATST and my stormtroopers did a lot of work, and I was able to win the game off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and start the next game. So this game is against a Sabine. Similar situation where I'm not going. I'm pretty much a little higher level than most of these players I'm facing. So um, I'll try to make sure I point out the mistakes I make in the games, because they could cost me if I was fighting someone who had a little bit higher level cards. Some of these games I end up winning, but probably by a wider margin than I deserve to. Um, so I send the stormtroopers up top, and they send Wookiee warrior. So I'm not going to push top against a grenadier and Wookiee warrior. So I send my sandtrooper bot, and I'm going to put a probe droid up top to stall for me. My sandtrooper is going to easily deal with those Tal's warriors. I've got an ATST sandtrooper push bot, and this is a really good position. He can't really defend. Those Twi'leks are nothing pretty much. I'm going to stun that Gagarin, and I'm going to use my ability, and that's going to buy time for my ATST to put a lot of chunk down. I think actually take this turret. Um, it does. It takes the turret, and again, I respond in time to combat any kind of push that he will respond with. There's a G&K droid up top, and I'm going to put bladesmen down to kill it. It's no problem. You just have to keep map awareness. You can see the dots creeping up on your turrets, and you can tend to, like, you play enough games, you know what they are. So he dropped a G&K on me. I was able to respond. I don't always catch that, and you know, as we all know, G&Ks can really punish you if you don't really catch them. So I put a sandtrooper bot. I'm going to respond with ATST here, and I'm probably going to put a stormtrooper in no man's land, or I mean a rocket trooper. I like that a lot. When you have one turret down, it's really nice to be able to put that rocket trooper at that center point, because it's able to kind of split their defense a little bit, split their defensive response, and have two angles of attack on the same turret. So I'm able to take that turret down with between the combination of my ATST damage and my rocket trooper, and there's not much of a response to put down. With the G&K bot, I misplay my devorian bladesman there, but it's okay. I'm able to use my body and my sandtrooper and kill him. I missed a stun grenade again, and that's going to be a common trend. I kind of just recently picked up stun grenade to pair up with Kallus. I think it's a really good. It wasn't that good of a card before, but with the global release and with all the new heroes, and with Kallus's active ability, I think I like to lock things down with stuns. So I'm still learning to use it. You're gonna see me miss quite a few of them. I kill him. I put an ATST down to pressure him. I go get health. At this point, it's pretty much good game. It's very difficult for them to get 2 turrets in 15 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next game. So this game is actually a game I misplay pretty badly and I lose, but I'm going to show it anyways, because I think it's good to see where mistakes get punished, and this is a really good example of where mistakes really get you punished. I'm actually pretty sure I even outleveled this player also, and so you can see even with a slight level advantage how strategic or tactical misplays will cost you greatly. So I place stormtroopers in the back to respond to the Wookiee warrior and make sure I'm not floating too much energy. And I go ahead and put a sandtrooper bottom also. Decide to push bottom, I guess. That was kind of a misplay right there, because he dropped a Yeti bot, so I don't want to drop an ATST into that. So I put ATST top, but it's not supported by my sandtrooper like it's customary, like I like. I put a probe droid bot to tank the Yeti. I'm going in and I'm hitting the Yeti. I know it's not called a Yeti. I try to call it by its proper name, but you'll see me misname it all the time. This is a misplay. That hesitation right there is going to cost me a lot. He's able to put a big push on top. Here's a huge mistake. I should have stunned and used my ability on that wave rather than sit here and try to kill Luke. Luke is really tanky, and that was a huge mistake. He was able to stay alive, take my health pack, which I should have been able to deny him, and have a huge push to take on the next turret also. I don't think he quite gets it, but that mistake right there cost me the game, because he has the initiative now. I'm just burning energy to even keep up, and he's already got huge damage on. He's killed one turret and huge damage on my shield generator turret, which is the turret you normally want to go for if you can, because if once you get the shield generator turret down, it makes it very difficult to respond to anything, because you're afraid of backdoors. You don't have any barrier protecting you from losing. So Luke goes in there. He's going to finish off that turret. He has a GNK here putting pressure on my other turret. So at this point, I have very little recourse. He's got complete control of the game. I have to play perfect, and even then, I probably couldn't pull back from a victory. It all stems from that mistake I made earlier that I pointed out to you guys. I get one turret with an ATST. I put a rocket trooper down, but he responds with the Wookiee warrior. That's like the place I told you I like to put the rocket trooper down, right in the middle of the map. But it didn't really matter because again, he has the foresight to. He played well. He played well basically. He responded to that rocket and it barely got any chip damage on the other thing. I'm playing desperately here, trying to recoup my turrets, and he's able to place units way in the back of my death. Long respawns because I've been dying. He gets this turret. He's got a GNK. I can't fight it in time. I put an ATST. That was a misplay also. The ATST should have actually gone either in the middle or in the bottom lane to try to take down that turret. It's such a long walk to get to the shield generator turret, and the ATST is slow. He barely gets any damage down on it, and it's game over. Okay, so this is an interesting game. This is kind of the opposite of what I just showed you. This is a big misplay on the opponent's part, and I capitalize on it. And I'm not sure if he rage quits or what, but he basically stops doing anything halfway through the game. So he's going to place a Yeti up here up top, and that's a big mistake. That's a big elixir energy cost right off the get-go that I'm able to counter with a stun grenade and my Devorian bladesmen. So I'm able to do that, and in the meantime, he does get a GNK droid bot, so he does distract me effectively, but the GNK isn't going to kill a turret by itself. It's just going to get half damage off, and I'm able to, with my push up top, and because he wasted his only counter to my ATST, I'm going to easily take that top turret with very little loss. The ATST was tanking while my bladesman went up there and whaled it, so both those things together are going to take a turret down like nothing. So at this point, he basically rage quits. He goes, stands in his bottom tower, and lets me win because he couldn't even take half damage off of my ATST. Here's another game, same player. He plays a lot better this time around. He doesn't make that same mistake, so this will be much more interesting to watch. Okay, so I'm starting off with Rocket Trooper, Bladesman, and Probe Droid. I drop a Probe Droid up top to stall against those Rebel Troopers. That's probably not actually a good play, just because Rebel Troopers only cost 2 energy, and I put a 3 energy Probe Droid on him. The Bladesman, his GNK, that's no problem. I got a couple shots off with my rocket launcher, so I get a little bit of chip down. My Bladesman, he puts a tank right into my Bladesman, which is kind of a mistake. I'm able to get half of his tank's health down with just bladesmen that were focusing something else earlier. I put stormtroopers down to finish him off, but he plays a good grenadier, takes out my stormtroopers. I put an ATST bot while I'm taunted. Taunting doesn't prevent you from doing abilities or anything like that. It just keeps you from moving and forces you to attack one thing. So my ATST is pushing bottom, getting a lot of damage done. His K2 and Pathfinder push was very good though. And if he was maybe one level higher, he might have got that turret. So that was pretty good. And this push also is good on his part. He's able to get a lot of damage down with his Yeti. But I'm able to clear it, and I think I'm able to push off of that. So yeah, so my ATST did enough damage earlier, and the weakest part of Cassian play is that Cassian himself has a very slow rate of fire, and he's not, his DPS is rather low, and he's not able to clear waves by himself. So if you can catch him without the appropriate amount of elixir to respond, he's not going to be able to stop you from pushing. So I was able to get that turret with just foot soldiers, just bladesmen and stormtroopers. No tank, no ATST. I stunned this GNK droid. I think it's a little bit overkill. I probably would have killed it anyways, but I didn't want it to get to my turret and get that turret. That probe droid was really well played. It knocks out his entire push. Um, I have stormtroopers middle, and I put bladesmen on him. I'm tanking the grenadier there. You can see I tanked the grenadier so that my devorian bladesmen can get some damage off. Again, I tanked the grenadier so that my sandtrooper doesn't get killed by his grenadier. I use my active ability to kill them all, and I'm gonna maybe get this turret with this rocket trooper, or at least some good chip down. No, I don't get the turret because his tank focuses my rocket trooper. So nonetheless, I have two turrets right now to his 0, but he's really close to taking one down. He gets it with Cassian, and that's fine. And I rush in here and die. That's a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have run in there and died. It didn't really suit any purpose. Luckily, his push is slow with a tank and a K2. He has a GNK droid bot, but I go ahead and go in there. I use my stun ability here to make sure he doesn't get to the wall, and I use stormtroopers, and with that, it's good game. I put a oh, I missed it. So I put a rocket trooper up in the middle point that I like to use so much, and with that, he was able to shoot down the last tower, I believe. Okay, this game I don't remember who I played up against again, so we'll see. I believe it's a hand player. Yes, it's hand. Okay, so here we have hand. I start off with an ATST, Stormtrooper, and Rocket Trooper. He plays Rebel Troopers bot. I respond with Stormtroopers bot. Oh no, I respond with Stormtroopers top to take out his tank. I let him get a big push bottom actually. I should have responded faster. I'm lucky that my probe droid took some aggro from some of those troops, but he got more chip damage than he should have. I was able to get a top tower with my while he was responding to my defense bottom though, and so that was a good trade for me. So I get Devorian Bladesman, I stun his Yeti, I kill it with my Bladesman. I'm going to run in here and try to tank the turret. It does aggro on one of my Bladesmen, but um, that's okay. I take the health potion, deny it from him, and my Bladesmen get half damage down. My Sandtrooper gets some more down, and I'm able to use my ability and do some damage. I die, but my probe droid there is able to clear some of his counter push and stall also. He's going to get a Pathfinder down, and the Wookiee Warrior is going to march on towards my turret, but my Sand Trooper does... Oh, it's not Wookiee Warrior, it's Chewbacca. My Sand Trooper is able to counter that push very well. I think I'm going to finish off that turret with an ATST here. I'm just waiting to gain energy. He has a tanked bottom, so I put an rocket trooper in the back because that's going to aggro in the tank, and I'm putting down the devorian and my stormtroopers to soak damage. I go in there, I use my ability, I stun all the troops. I die, but I'm able to stun Han and keep him from pushing too much. He does kill my push. I don't get anything out of it, but neither does he really. My probe droid stalls his push. He dies, and let's see. I think I placed stormtroopers here. I guess I could have waited a little bit and put an ATSC down. I don't think he would have been able to respond too well, but that's okay. So I die again. I'm gonna get a couple turret shots off of this rocket trooper. Get a little bit more chip down. Um, he's able to. He dies here. He shouldn't have. He rushed in. That was a mistake. My stormtroopers here are gonna. I think stormtroopers between me and the stormtroopers, we get this turret, no problem. I'm gonna use my ability on hand to try to stun him down, lock him down. My bladesmen are gonna tear into him. I get a kill, get his health potion, and 4 seconds left, and it's good game. So for my final game of this recording session, I have a Lando matchup. This one's a pretty good game as well. He plays really well, and I win, but just barely. So I start off with sandtroopers, probe droids, and stormtroopers. I like this starting hand. I'm gonna go ahead and drop stormtroopers to not float any energy. Let's see, he started off with a Wookiee warrior. That's pretty typical rebel start. Oh, I started with a sandtrooper, my mistake. But anyways, I put the sandtrooper and stormtrooper in the same lane. They take the Wookiee warrior down pretty easily. His Nien Nunb though is able to take out everything. Those grenadiers do work, and they really mess me up there. I make a mistake here. I hesitate, and I just kind of stand there doing nothing. I don't know what I'm doing. I should have definitely moved in there earlier. His GNK soaks a lot of my turret damage, and he's able to get a push off it. Even though the GNK didn't blow up, it did serve as a tank and keep his other forces healthy. Lets the Yeti charge up and do a lot of damage. I set a rocket trooper bottom to get some more chip. In the meantime, though, he does get that turret, and now I'm losing. He gets a GNK and uses his active ability and gets another GNK. And here, this is why I love bladesmen so much. I drop bladesmen down, and they single-handedly take out the 2 GNK droids and the Wookiee warrior, with a little bit of help from a probe droid and myself. But really, that was really clutch. So for 3 energy, I was able to kill, I believe, 6 of his. My probe droid tanks the Yeti. I go ahead and let the Yeti push over the midpoint line. I'm gonna go ahead and stun it once he gets into turret range, and use my ability here to probably finish it off. Oh, he puts another Yeti down. I stun this one and I stun him. I don't use my ability, but I am able to kill him. And I'm gonna get a push off this and get another turret. So I even it up right there. So he sends a GNK top. I'm able to respond with stormtroopers killed in time. Let's see what he sends by. I believe that's a tank. Okay, so he sends a tank bottom. Sends another GNK top, so I counter push from the ATSC in the top lane. I'm gonna kill this GNK with my person. I use the devorians to counter his tank up top, and I know he has to leave his tank to respond to my ATST push. So my ATST is able to get about half the turret by itself, and I was able to respond effectively with just devorians on my person. He used another GNK top. Again, I respond with Agent Kallus. I drop a probe droid to stop his other push, and I put stormtroopers, and I put the stormtroopers were misplaced. I put a rocket trooper in that middle point to get some more chip down. I use my stun and my ability to clear his Yeti push and 2 Wookiee warriors, and my bladesmen again do so much work for me. I put an ATST in that middle point. This is what wins me the game. He goes in there, he's gonna get a shot for sure. There's nothing that can take it down fast enough, and I win the game. So that's all my recordings for today's session. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments on how I can improve my recordings and my commentary, and I'll be happy to answer and improve them in the future. Hopefully that helps, guys. I'll see you guys next time.